Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So for those of you that are just now stumbling across my channel, my name is Tommy Martin and I'm a third year medical student. So what I want to share with you guys in this video is medical school really worth it? Alright, but before I get to the video, I want to tell you guys that you are greatly, greatly loved and that you are wonderfully and beautifully created and that you are capable of more than you could ever imagine. Let's get to it. Is medical school worth it? Is the cost of medical school worth it? The hundreds of thousands of dollars that it costs. Being away from your family, the hours of studying, the never having time to go out to hang out with your friends, never having time to do anything. Is it really worth it? Started off first by all the questions that you guys have asked me. Tell me, medical school costs so much money. How do you afford it? So just how much does it really cost to go to medical school? Alright, so I was going to pull it up on my iPad and show you guys all my tuition costs and all that, but to be honest, as you could tell, wearing Phoebe's hoodie in sweats, being a little bit lazy tonight, so I'm not going to do that, and I just looked up some averages. So we have to start off with undergrad. That's assuming that you did not go to a private high school, but the average cost of undergraduate college in 2016 or 2017 was about $33,000, I think. So we're going to go up on the upper end of things and say $40,000. So $40,000, say 4 years. But sometimes people don't necessarily get done in 4 years, which you can. I did it in 3. You could do it in 4. Do not worry. But we're just going to say 5 for this sake. So times 5. So your undergraduate debt, if you had 0 student loans, we're going to do this worst case scenario, you would have $200,000 in debt already. So that's quite a bit. So then we have to talk about medical school. Medical school is not cheap, especially if you go to the Caribbean like I did. It is very, very expensive. Well, studies show that the average cost of medical school from like a private college, I believe, was $273,000. From a state school was about $215,000. So we are going to say $300,000 plus $300,000. $500,000. $500,000. $500,000. No, but really, okay, so that brings us to $500,000. And now some of you guys are thinking, well, what about food and rent and all that? Well, most of the times when they count your tuition in medical school, all of that's included. Your transportation, your miscellaneous things you need, your phone bill, whatever it is, all of that's kind of included in the student loan that you take out. So as of right now, $500,000. Do you think medical school is worth it? Okay, well, let's talk about the physician salary. So in 2016-2017, the average physician salary, depending on your practice, was anywhere from $153,000 to $330,000, I believe. I just looked it up on Google. So it was anywhere from $156,000 to $315,000. So, and yes, that is a yearly income. So that's a good wage. So we could say worst case scenario, you make $100,000 a year, which is way below even the lowest average. So you are $500,000 in debt that is accumulating tons of interest, and now you make $100,000 a year, which you probably could have done with a master's degree. So is medical school worth it? Okay, so let's talk about you're away from your family. I went to a Caribbean school, and in doing that, I was a long ways away from my family. Missouri, yeah, you guys probably don't know where that is. It's in the Midwest, so if you see the United States like this, it's like right here. It's right in the middle. That's where my family's from, so I didn't get to see them very much at all. So what did medical school cost me? I didn't get to see my nephew grow up.
Reel it in.
I'm gonna have this guy for breakfast.
I missed a good 2.5 years of his life growing up. I missed 2 grandmothers passing away that I didn't get to go to their funeral. My grandfather passed away. I didn't get to go to his funeral. My family kind of fell apart, so I wasn't really there to be there for my family. I missed a lot. I was away from him. Yeah, I talked to him on the phone. I'd Skyped him and things like that, but I wasn't physically there with them. I missed so many birthdays, so many anniversaries, so many different events that I would have loved to be at. So is medical school worth it? So what about your time? Well, every day I'd wake up about 5 in the morning. I'd go to the gym, so I'd have an hour for me. Thank God, it was so great. But then from 6 in the morning till really about 11 at night, I was studying. Every waking moment of my day seemed to be studying. Didn't really get to do anything for myself. Didn't do too much for myself. So was or is medical school worth it? Now, short disclaimer, I want you to know I'm taking everything to the extremes. So this is the extremes of everything. So was medical school worth it? Well, the answer is it depends. Okay, so it depends on you. It depends on what your dreams are. It depends why you want to be a doctor. Okay, and so to answer this, if you want to be a doctor for the income, it may not be the best decision for you. If you want to be a doctor because your family's lineage is of doctors and that's why you want to be one, you may not want to be a doctor. It may not be worth the sacrifice because it is a great sacrifice. But let me tell you, for me, it has been worth it every single day of my life. Every single day since, well, I'm not a doctor yet, but every single day that I'm getting closer to becoming a doctor, even knowing how much debt I'm in, how much I've missed, it has been worth it. And let me tell you why. It's because God has placed it on my heart to become a doctor. He's placed it on my heart and given me a passion to use the abilities that God has given me to help other people. And so when I had a patient who was diagnosed with cancer, who was just devastated, and I was able to pray with them and bring them a new hope and bring them a new joy, and then to come a few months later and to know that that patient's cancer has been responding to therapy and that that patient is gonna be healed and that she called me her guardian angel, it was worth every day in the library. It was worth every penny. I don't even care if I don't pay back all of that money. It was worth every dime I spent. It was worth every waking second I spent, because the smile upon that patient's face of that new hope was worth it. Let me tell you, if you have a dream, whether it's becoming a doctor, becoming a nurse, becoming a dentist, becoming a railroader, becoming a garbage man, whatever the sacrifice is, if that is your dream and you are passionate about it, whatever you have to sacrifice, it is worth it. It is worth it. Now, the hardest thing for me was sacrificing my time away from my family. But because they knew that this is what I wanted to do, what I am most passionate about, they supported me every step of the way. And we made phone calls work. We made Skype work. So, is medical school worth it? You are the only one that can answer that question. And if it is your dream, and if it is the thing in this world that you are most passionate about, then you cannot put a price tag on that. You cannot put a price tag on that day when you heal a patient, when a patient sends you a card in the mail, when you finally get that MD behind your name, which for me will be in about another year. But I can promise you that if you're truly in this for what it truly means to be a doctor, to be a healer, to be a friend, to be someone that your patients can go to with whatever they need. If you're in this to become a doctor that wants to love on patients endlessly and to make an impact in their lives, then I can promise you medical school is worth it. It is worth every dime. It is worth every minute. So if it is your passion, do not second guess it. I promise you, it will be worth it. And I want you to know that I'm saying this not being a doctor yet. I haven't been in the system. I haven't got my first paycheck. I haven't done any of that yet. But the way I feel right now, beyond in debt, missing so many things, I can still promise you, it's worth it. It's worth the sacrifice.